Welcome once again. We are back on a late night tip. So you know it's only going to be certain people in here, but
Exactly.
here, near or there, here or there, how we say it. But you're listening to the
And
Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. That's what you're listening to. You
check
can
out the
listen to
merch.
us. You can listen. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes, so I gotta get it right. The Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast is what you're listening to. You can hear us on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I know I'm missing
iTunes.
iTunes. I don't like Apple, but yeah. So these are all the places where you can catch us. So it was a good win tonight. We won. It was a tight game early on. We pulled it out at the end. I was a little bit frustrated by a couple players, but put some respect on Danny Green's name.
You got to.
Put some respect on that man's name.
The man went and got his ring today, him and Dwight, and then he came up. Not only did he hit threes all night long, but he came up clutch when we really needed that veteran presence.
He's been doing all season. Yep.
And he sat there because that was the dagger. At that point, the game was over. When we needed it was a much needed 3-pointer, and he hit it and he had somebody in his face. I think he had Kuzma in his face, and then
he was all over. We actually had a couple shots like that in the second half.
Yeah,
like Shake hit the one at the end of the third, and then
that was a good one too.
So, but I mean, listen. And another thing, I think sometimes we forget, because I was having a discussion with some Nets fans. You know, the Nets fans feeling all great about where they are right now, even though they're still in second place. But the Nets, I'm saying the Sixers have a great defense. Not saying they would stop the Nets.
Yeah,
but they have a great defense. We'll delve into that a little bit later on. But I was saying that because I was thinking about Danny Green. Sometimes we talk about Matisse Thybulle defense. We talk about Ben Simmons defense. We talk about Joel Embiid defense. Danny Green brings his defense every night. He brings that intensity, and I love it. I love him as a role player on this team.
I agree. And that's what I say. We're gonna give him his props right now, Danny Green, because
about time y'all did.
I know, because
I want to hear Mark. I want to hear a Mark give him his props.
G Wood, you was hating the whole for at least the first 20 games. What I want to do, I mean, it's 3 parts of the game that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Good, the bad, and the ugly. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's go with Mike Scott, the ugly.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure he's in the ugly part.
Mike Scott. When we started the night, we started off with I guess when we started the month, we started off with we had 4 centers on the roster. We traded 2 today. Dwight Howard got ejected, and then Embiid is not playing because of injury, which leaves you
traded 2. You said we traded 2 today?
Yeah, we traded the one. He wasn't really playing. He was like a 7.
Oh yeah, the one. Okay.
But we had 4 centers on the roster, and we didn't have any tonight. And so that left Mike Scott playing significant minutes. And there's a reason why he don't play. There's a reason why Doc didn't play him the first time around when he was playing in the Clippers in LA. The Bull is streaky, but he's streaky bad. He did hit 2 3-pointers, but he's just bad.
This is what I say. This is what I think Mike Scott brings to the team. Is I think he brings the grit. I get it, the grit and all that other stuff, but
3 minutes.
But the play, yeah, I mean, I don't even mind Mike Scott being on my bench. I'm not saying just he's trash, throw him out in the roster, but I don't want him in my rotation. No. I actually would have liked to see more of Paul Reed today than I saw of him.
Yeah, we only saw a little bit of him, but the little bit that I saw, I was impressed about how he played.
I like his intensity, like when he got the tech from the block, but how he stood over. But he didn't look scared to me. But I mean, that's because he did win a championship in the G League and was balling out there. But I mean, he definitely looked like he's like, you know how sometimes to me when Shake was first in the NBA, I thought Shake looked shook, and even sometimes now Shake looks a little shook to me. Paul Reed looked like he I'm here, like what, like you put no fear in me. So I definitely would like to see a little bit more of him. I don't know how much minutes he would get when Joel come back, but I would like to see a little bit more of him. Can he be able to get those
Scott minutes next game, and even next year he'll be able to definitely get them because we're not going to keep Mike Scott. And
absolutely not.
I think after he get a whole summer under his belt, I think he'll come in and be a nice rotational player for us. But
So wait, you said good, bad, and ugly. So what's the bad? I'll wait for the good. What's the bad?
Bad to me is Ben Simmons' offensive game, not his defensive game, not as the assist. Because as far as assists, he played well. He got the assist that was needed. They said he assisted took on 41 points. So you can't. That's part of the offense. But I'm talking about the scoring aspect of his offense. I think he was 1 for 7. I'm not sure. But he struggled. And the thing what he's struggling with is because, and this is going to happen in the playoffs, that half court game, because you saw playoff basketball. Basically, what we watched was playoff basketball today, and a little bit, and because they're gonna when you're doing those half court sets.
Oh, right, slowing it down and stuff.
Yeah, and then Schroeder, when they putting their body into him and everything, and so you got to have some type of offensive game. And I think that's what Reggie Miller was saying. You got to have some type of like scoring ability and not just play off of instincts.
No, I understand that, but see, to me, this is my biggest pet peeve of Ben Simmons reared his head again tonight. Well, first of all, he has 7 turnovers. I'm a little irked by that, but I mean, when you he had 12 assists. It's still way too many turnovers. But to your point, some of those turnovers come off of him, the way he passed the ball out. But this is what I've always said about Ben Simmons. If he shoots foul shots, and I think because he missed those free throws early, he was really struggling from the line. Once he does that, he clams up.
Yeah.
Like now all of a sudden he doesn't attack because he's afraid to get fouled.
Yes.
And that's what I saw rear his head again tonight. And that bothers me. That irks me because that's what irks me the most about him. When he's hitting foul shots and he's feeling confident and he's talking in it, he's attacking the basket and going and looking for the foul calls. I thought he would look like he was trying to avoid foul calls.
And that's the thing. He has to be mentally. He just got to be like Danny Green. Danny Green is going to shoot. If he's on, he's going to shoot. When he's off, he's going to shoot. You got to be unconscious. And he's not like that. Once he loses his confidence, he's like a dud. Like then he'll try to do other things. Like I'm gonna work hard defensively. I'm gonna do this. Like he'll do other things. But you just, as an offensive shooter, as an offensive player, you got to keep your foot on the gas. And that's something that he's still learning to do.
Now, that being said, I am going to still, because I agree with you. And that's the reason why I'll agree that that's bad. That's not the ugly, but it is bad. But I will say this about Ben. He played a lot of center tonight. You know, even though they didn't really have a true center. Dwight Howard, oh my God, man. See, this is the stuff that bothers me about Dwight. This is what bothers me about. I like his intensity, but something like, bro, chill. Like, chill. Like you see it's a little chirpy. No, it was because he kept going stop feeding into that bum. This is what them dudes do. Stop feeding into that.
But here's the thing, though. I put that part of the ugly too, as far as the ref throwing him out for that technical foul. That was bogus. That was bogus.
Oh, they was horrible with a bunch of. Honestly, the one they gave Schroeder at the end when he fouled Seth, it was a foul, but they gave him a tech for that. Like that was outrageous.
Yeah, that was
out of pocket tonight.
I don't care, but we could have lost that game because we really didn't have a true big man to body with Montrez.
Yeah, he started bullying.
Yeah, he played bully ball big time. He's like, I'm bigger than all these.
He did, but this is why Dwight got to be smarter than that.
Yeah, but Dwight, that was especially once you got teed up the first time.
Right.
The refs know not to call it again. To me, that was a real ticky-tack foul.
But that's why he should have chilled after the first time. That's what I'm saying. Like he do it. Sometimes he just do too much. Like I understand like the intimidation and all the antics and stuff. I get it, and it's like it's
not scared.
I know I get that, but all I'm saying is just know that we don't have Embiid.
Yeah.
This ain't the game to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like any other time when we got Embiid or even when we had Bradley, who we just traded, if you got that, then do that. We cannot afford to lose you at center right now because it really debilitates us as a team.
I agree. And you saw what happened.
Right.
That third quarter though,
our
guards, Danny Green and Seth, they started balling, hitting threes. Oh yeah, another ugly too.
You might about to be exactly what I was going to say. What ugly? You talking about Matisse?
Yes. You know what? Matisse had a jump shot last year.
Oh my God. I know.
He had a jump shot.
It wasn't this bad. Him and Mike Scott was building. They built the whole tribe out that joint.
They did. They
built a community. They was out there working for what's the joint? Habitat for Humanity. They was putting up houses. They was putting up whole projects.
But here's the thing. With all that being said, at least he took the shot. Ben won't even take the shot.
I agree.
He was wide open and he was clanging and clicking. Everything was bricking, but he took the shot.
But see, that kind of go to the team, and that's the other thing that we talked about. I know some people say coaching don't matter, but I think that Doc instills confidence in his players. Like for even when Ben was on that stretch that he was doing and playing aggressive offensively, I think that comes from Doc and his coaching staff instilling confidence, and also guys like Danny Green, like we talk about, like Danny Green, like he's unconscionable with it. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows what he can do, and he like, listen, I know I can shoot. I'm going to shoot.
Yeah.
So, and he do, and that's why I'm saying that's why I've always said like this. I know people looked at Danny Green and was like, well, you know, he choked with the Lakers or he came up so. But my thing is, Danny Green gives you what you need, especially for a young team.
Exactly.
For a young team, and now that
presence.
I think because he's getting more minutes here, it's like you could really see it. I like Danny Green on his team. I do. I'm glad we didn't trade him.
I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back in some other in another fashion next year. I mean, he's only with 32, 33.
I mean, listen, in the same fashion that he is now, unless we upgrade in certain spots, I have no problem with bringing Danny Green back.
Yeah, maybe as a bench player, not as a starter.
But that's what I'm saying. If we upgrade somewhere along the way, then I wouldn't mind bringing. But I'm just saying that to say this: our defense. You got Danny Green, Ben Simmons, Thibault, Dwight. And B, like we have some really good defensive players.
Because that's what we did. What we did in the third quarter to shut them down and go on that offensive run is the same thing we did in the fourth quarter against Golden State 2 nights ago.
Right.
It's like once we put that unit in there and we're Thibault and Ben, that's what Thibault and Ben, you want that matchup because they play well off each other. We are toughed out.
Especially when you have a legitimate center back there. Because that's honestly, I mean, the Lakers started hitting from outside, but they were attacking inside. They were attacking, and it caused us to collapse down on stuff, and they was getting guys wide open who was hitting their shots.
Because Schroeder wouldn't have been able to lay up the ball as often as he was doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. He was getting a whole bunch. First of all, Montrez, he ain't doing all that. If he got Embiid.
Try to do that against Embiid, see what happens.
Right, or even Dwight. Like the way he manhandled Mike Scott and Ben Simmons.
Yeah, but Mike Scott was 6'7". Come on.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Plus, he's strong. Like, this is what Montrez does. Like, he bangs down there like that. Yeah. So you're not expecting them to really be able to handle him in there.
He got 14 and a quarter. He's not getting 14 and a quarter never again.
Right.
Not against, especially not against our bigs.
Right.
But yeah.
So I guess we got covered the bad now.
Yeah. So the bad pretty much was who was
No. We did bad. We gotta do the good.
Yeah. Now the good, there was a lot of promising game play. Danny Green, we already talked about him, but I guess he was the bar.
He had 28.
Yeah.
I didn't even PP had 28. I know he was hitting, but
I thought Seth was strong. I thought Seth came out.
No, absolutely.
He came 19. He was 50% from 3-point line for 4 of 8.
7 for 13 from the floor.
Now gave us 19.
Yep.
So he did good. And then Tobias started real slow, but again, he was our closer.
He's a closer. Listen.
So is it official? Because y'all was trying to say that it was still Embiid.
No, it is still Embiid.
No, I'm telling you, Tobias is the closer.
I honestly, I think it could be either one of them. It could be either one of them, and this is why this is what I'm saying. This is why I say with a lot of stuff comes as a team, especially when Embiid is in there. You cause so many mismatches. Embiid, it'll make it easier for Ben. It makes it easier for Tobias. It makes it easier for everybody on the court because Embiid draws so much attention. Now, I I'm not going to sit here and rip Tobias and say he can be our closer because he has closed.
He proved the reason. Here's why I think I already said this like in other podcasts. I'm making him my closer because he can get the ball at the top of the key, or he can get at the half court line, and he can do something with the ball. He can dribble. He can dribble up. If Embiid gets the ball in the backcourt and then dribbles up, it's going to be a turnover.
I don't agree with that. I agree. I've seen games where he does that. Now, the problem comes in with Embiid is when he goes in and attack and then he gets double and triple teamed and he might cause turnovers or something like that.
And if he
bring that ball down, where did you see Tobias getting double and triple teamed?
Oh, he is now.
No, he ain't. No, he ain't. The shots that he no. Let's be real.
Not the shots that Tobias hit.
The shots that Tobias hit was when he had a size disadvantage and he came down and he leaned on the guy and then shot over him, which I have no problem with that. That's what he should do. We should do that more often. That's why I said we have size where we should be able to dictate stuff like that. So, and that's how we should play that bully ball type. But let's not get it twisted. I'm still, if I got a choice of who I'm going to down the stretch, I'm going to Embiid.
No, I wouldn't be mad if you went to Embiid, but as of right now, Tobias is the closer for this squad. He's been
because Embiid ain't in the game.
No, I'm just saying, even with Embiid in the game, I'm going with Tobias.
Okay, so who had more big baskets down the stretch today? Because it looked like Danny Green was a closer to me.
Right,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He hit a big shot, but Tobias,
that shot didn't close the game.
No, it did. It did.
See how I'm saying? You can
let's move on because I know that Tobias put us in position because he came down and hit a big.
Danny didn't. He had 28. He wasn't dripping in the fourth quarter.
But this has been Tobias all year.
Danny wasn't dripping in the fourth quarter.
I'm not saying he didn't. He did good.
So who was the closer today?
It was two of them. It was Tobias and it was Danny Green. That's my final answer.
I ain't mad at it. Listen, it's a good problem to have. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we can sit here, laugh, and troll each other and talk about that's a good problem to have. So I honestly, I feel good about this game because I ain't gonna hold you. When Dwight went, first of all, when we made the trade, I was like, all right, we without Bradley, so that means Dwight's gonna play extra minutes. I don't agree with Doc's starting lineup.
You would have went with Dwight?
Mike Scott should never be starting a basketball game.
No.
I don't care what nobody say about it, no matter if you got Harden on your team and you could live with a Mike Scott. None of that. None of that. Mike Scott should never be a starter in this league.
Yeah.
So, and it's a shame because I like Mike Scott as I like his personality. I like him as a person.
Personality is Philly, is all Philly.
But as a player, oh my God, he irks me.
I agree. I do want to see the boy Paul Reed more. He got to get some more real minutes, though. I want to see him play because just the snippets that I saw, I'm impressed.
But I feel like these are the games that you should see more of him. First of all, tonight was a night where you should have seen more than what you've seen of him. I understand Doc might want to make him, sometimes you're a young guy, you got to make him earn his way, this, that, and other. But he, like you said, he was just like an MVP in the G League. Yeah. He was balling in the G League. Right now, you have a situation where Dwight Howard fouled out. You just traded Tony Bradley. So you need not that Reed is a center, but you need another big man in there. Like let's see I want to see what he could do as a stretch four. Because right now his confidence is rolling because he was balling in the G League. And then the way he carried himself on the court looked like he was confident.
So I do like the fact that the boy Furkan didn't play as many minutes. This is not the game. That's why they made that trade for George Hill. And then I guess I do want to talk about the trade a little bit.
Yo, absolutely.
So as y'all know, this is the day was the trade deadline for the NBA and the Sixers.
Wait, real quick, because you talking about court. What is the issue with? I mean,
just when you play physical teams like the Lakers, like the Clippers, like there's certain teams that are physical, and it's not a good matchup. So Doc won't play Quirk.
I'm saying I didn't have a whole Quirk. All right, Quirk shot 2 for 5, 1 for 2 from 3. So I mean, I don't see where Quirk was really. Honestly, I think Korkmaz has improved his ability to take the ball off the dribble and the draw fouls and stuff like that. So
every time he draw a foul, he's going to miss one of the free throws. It's the guarantee now. At this point, if he get fouled on the 3-point line, he's going to miss. He's going to make 2 or 3, and if it's a 2-pointer, it's going to be 1 or 2. That's That's what I'm looking at now.
I don't know if I agree with that. So you telling me he's shooting? So you telling me he's shooting like 60% from the three for the season?
At least the last 20 games he is. I'm telling you, if it's a 3-point play, he's gonna make 2 or 3.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say like Korkmaz should have been getting so many more minutes or whatever. I'm just saying that if you're shorthanded, I should never see Mike Scott getting 28 minutes a game. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
All right, so come on, let's talk about the street.
All right, so we traded for George Hill. What you think?
I think it was something we needed, and we made that trade. I know people feel about Tony Bradley. You know, I know we're fond of him. I get it, but
Daryl Morey said he didn't want to trade him either.
No, honestly, I can see that too because I mean he's a young guy, he's a rookie.
And then when Embiid don't play, and Embiid don't play a lot of games.
But if we did not have Dwight Howard, right now, I think the Sixers are in win now mood. No matter what, no matter how, a lot of people want to give the Nets automatically give them the title now, this, that, and other. The Sixers, I think, can compete with the Nets, can beat the Nets because of their defense and because they have the scoring of Embiid, Tobias. Seth Curry looks like he's doing all right. You know, he looked like a little bit better if he's more consistent. Danny Green, and then we have the defensive wings. Like I talked about the players that we have that play defense. Of course, you're not going to shut the Nets down, but you can play defense on them. So the Sixers got to make moves. That's the one thing we do need is that point guard that can come in down the stretch because Shake can't do it. Ben is shaky with it, but to have that another veteran player who's won, if they come in, settle stuff down, he can hit open threes. I think it's a good fit for us. And we didn't really give up anything that would like any of our depth or we didn't give up anything that we really needed right now, even though I like Bradley future.
I do like Bradley. And it's crazy because 3 weeks ago, we wasn't even thinking about him like that.
Exactly.
But I see promise from we titled one of our videos after him last time he played because he was 8 for 8.
Yeah.
And then he gets traded. I guess they were showcasing him. We was thinking
that's why you gotta do it.
So I mean, I'm sad that he had to go, but I do think that we needed a point guard who can hit shots. And when Ben, because this is what's gonna happen in the playoffs, Ben is gonna go back into the dunker position and he's gonna play off the ball. And you're gonna need that same person how Jimmy Butler played with the ball in the fourth quarter under Brett Brown. We need that type of pat backup point guard, and now we have it.
But even before that situation comes about, and I agree with it, but even before that, this is why our bench has struggled. I think more than anything else, our bench has struggled because we haven't had a backup true point.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
So I like the ball being out of Shake's hand, whereas though whenever he touches it, he don't got to worry about facilitating to get nobody else in it. When you get the rock, your job is to shoot and to score. Kind of like that Lou Will type situation. This is what I want Shake to be.
Remember how Shake balled in the G League last year and balled when he came back up? As his responsibility wasn't to create.
Right.
And so now that he can come in, like you said, just come in, just shoot the ball, look for your shot, get buckets. I think you may even see a better Shake Milton out this whole thing because of that pickup.
And I mean, even with certain guys that's coming off the bench, like you talking about a Korkmaz, Shake, I could see these guys getting open looks because a true point guard is still because we said we wanted about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons still, like they said tonight, you know, the stat they said tonight that he contributed on so many points from his assists.
Yeah.
And they said like Ben Simmons is one of the, I think even coming into the season, like he assisted on more threes than anybody or something like that. So it's like he finds guys and get guys open that can shoot.
Yeah.
So, but when he goes to the bench, you don't have that as much. So now you got George Hill where, you know, you got this vet that then been through wars and everything else on the basketball court. I'm good with the pickup. I like Kyle Lowry. I don't think but they wanted way too much for him.
Oh my God. They wanted King's ransom for him. I mean, he's 35.
I'm not giving it for him.
Especially, and the crazy thing is they might wind up buying it. He might get bought out in a couple weeks or so. And then you could pick him up for nothing.
Yeah, but would you take him then at that point?
Absolutely. Well,
so then what do you do? See, all right. I mean, I wouldn't. I still think that we need a stretch. Like you said, you said all season. I do think we need to stretch.
I think that Yeah, I agree.
That's why I want to see what Paul Reed could do. And listen, I'm not being a homer and saying, "Oh, did you see the?" You know, some parts boys overhype stuff. Like it's the moment. But I want to see what the young guy could, because you never know what a young guy can do unless you put him in that position. And I think now you are afforded to put him in that position because of what's going on with the team right now. Like you had the whole trade and everything else.
Doc ain't gonna do it. Doc, one of them, you know, some veteran coaches like Larry Brown, they just got this thing with rookies. Like they just don't trust rookies. No matter how good they are, they just don't trust them. And I see that in him.
Yeah, because like to me, Maxey seems a little confused. And I think that's because, you know,
he ain't cut his braids.
Like y'all have been saying, you know, especially Ethan and Ephraim, that Maxey is more of a scorer.
Yeah.
So, and if he is, but then you're trying to have him be a point guard because you need him more as the point guard. Like he can't really play Shake's role. And I think that might benefit him more to play like a Shake. How we just said we want Shake to play.
Just to get in there and get buckets.
So, but he looks confused. And the same thing, Isaiah Joe just looks like he's not ready yet. Like he just looks a little shook, which is how I felt Shake looked last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before he went down. But I'm looking at Paul Reed. I don't get that from him.
Nah, he looked like he belonged.
Yeah. So I mean, I like to see what he could do.
No, I agree, but I don't know if the barring injury, I don't know how we're gonna actually get. He gonna get any clout
because Mike Scott needs to not get clout.
Yeah,
I need Mike Scott to tweak his ankle somewhere.
Mike Scott is done,
bro.
I know. Tell you, well, at least Dwight should be healthy or have a lot of energy come Saturday because he didn't play what he had
against the Clips.
Yeah. How many minutes did he play tonight?
Yeah, he didn't play many at all. 6. He played 6 minutes.
So he got 6 minutes. So he should be very fresh.
He definitely should.
His last game was Tuesday night. So Saturday will be his first game back. So he should be nice and fresh. So he should have legs when he play when we go up against the Clippers.
Yeah. No, he definitely should. If nothing else, he needs to be bringing that energy. But I mean, hey, I want to see Paul Reed get some more minutes. Hopefully he gets more minutes against the Clippers. So I just want to see. All right, the young boy played 8 minutes. Reed played 8 minutes, had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal. He shot 2 for 4 from the floor. He is 0 for 2 from 3. So, but I mean, he missed a free throw. But like he didn't really get a chance to get into it and he was active. Like he wasn't like he was banging around inside.
So far on this road trip, we are 3-0. Is that what you expected?
I say it's a little more. I mean, we got to see what happened because they still got to play the Clippers.
We still got the Clippers
and Denver
and Cleveland.
Denver made some nice moves. Like I don't think it's still way we beating Denver without Embiid right now.
Hopefully they don't pass the physical.
Aaron Gordon, yeah, they improved their squad nicely. So
yeah,
I'm looking at that as going to be a loss right now. You know what I'm saying? But
that's why I kind of think we need that. We need this Clippers game because the Denver game looks really, really tough.
But then we got the Cavs after that. I think we can beat the Cavs now. Right now, we just on a roll, bro. Like you look at this team and how it is. Like we really do look like we have a nice amount of depth, even you know, because you're talking about we're playing without Embiid, which actually it moves some of the other guys to the bench. But this is like we've been saying this. Seth Curry can give you what he's giving you.
Yep.
You know, and Danny Green has been consistent. He's not giving you 28. I don't expect Danny Green to give me 28 every night.
Yeah.
But if Danny Green and Seth is giving you what, just hit the open shots. I feel good. This road trip has actually made me feel better about the Sixers as a team.
Yep. Because now, if we come back and let's say we lose Clippers in Denver, that still will make us 4-2.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
I mean, you should lose on the road to the Clippers. You know, if all their guys are playing now, if they putting Kawhi on load management or whatever else, then I mean that, you know, then that remains to be seen. But if you're talking about their whole team playing, and you're in the middle of a road trip and you're without your MVP, I would expect that the Sixers shouldn't be. There's no way that the Sixers should be expected or favored to win that game.
Yeah.
So if they pull it off, it's great. But and even with that though, like honestly, real quick, I'm looking at the way we're winning these games. Like we actually are getting big leads on these teams.
I know that's the thing, but we also giving up big leads to these teams, which is a little concerning.
But that's why I think George Hill brings that extra dimension. Whereas though now we still have somebody to captain the ship, and Ben Simmons doesn't have to play as many minutes.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, which team do you think improved themselves the most with the trade deadline? I mean, you got Aaron Gordon and JaVale McGee going to the Nuggets. Victor Oladipo went to the Heat.
Only thing about the Oladipo to the Heat, Oladipo must be hurt or something because they didn't get much. Like, why wasn't more? It should have been. I don't think they hardly paid anything to get him in the trade.
Yeah,
it must be something with Oladipo because you mean to tell me nobody else thought to get Oladipo or to put up for trade whatever Miami did because Miami didn't give up a lot for him because I thought Oladipo would fit nicely with the Sixers.
The thing is, here's the thing. That the Houston organization hate the Sixers so much
because of more.
They set up the Nets, they set up the Bucks, they set up they set up every team. It's like they hate Daryl Morey so much. They set up everybody to be.
I don't want to believe that to be the fact, but I absolutely can see that. That's some next level petty hate.
Because they literally could have had Ben Simmons, Thibault, and Maxey for Harden. They turned that down, and now they got nothing because Oladipo came in the trade, and they traded Oladipo, so they got nothing for James Harden.
You mean to tell me that we couldn't? And Thibault, all I know is if Thibault is at least Thibault is shooting his shot. But all I know is if Thibault is going to play this horribly on offense, he better lock somebody down in the playoffs on defense.
Oh, he will.
He better. No, and I'm not talking about just anybody. Like if we got to go against the Nets, he better at least make Kyrie have to sweat for whatever.
They looking at film, and that's why they made him untradeable. They were like, we not including him because that's what Toronto wanted him. Toronto was like, we do a deal, but we won 2 first rounds. We won Thibault and Maxey, and they said Thibault's not in it. That was like Thibault. He's an untouchable commodity right now.
So who do you think that? Now this and I ain't gonna hold you right now. And I look at it, I still think the Sixers. I think the Nets are still slightly over the Sixers. But very slightly. And I do think that home court advantage is going to matter in that series. So as long as we keep up the pace and stay where we have home court advantage. And I also think that it matter because if we hit the playoffs and we're in the first position, like say if we first and the Nets second and the Bucks third, that means if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bucks and the Nets are going to have to play each other before they come to face the Sixers.
Exactly. That's why we need that number one
home
seed.
court. That number one seed is important. That's why I'm saying this road trip and so far how we're playing without Embiid has been huge. Because I was expecting that we were going to lose ground.
Yeah, y'all kept saying 5. I said 6-2 for the record, and then but y'all was saying 500.
No, I said no. I said 5-3 is what I expected. I said 6. You said you was talking like 6-2 would just be okay. I was like 6-2 would be outstanding.
But now
I would take it.
Now, I mean, because if you really start, because 6-2 would include the home game that we had before we left. I think we played Sacramento. That would give us that extra game because they said treat that as a road game. So we would be sick right now. Technically, we had
a home game against Sacramento is treated as a road game.
They were just trying to say, as far as like they wanted to in their mind, they just were like, let's get our minds.
No, we're not doing that. If we're going
they play.
But no, actually though, if we think about it, our original conversation was, what would be the Sixers record without Embiid?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just about the road trip. We was talking about what the Sixers record would be without Embiid. So going back from there, it is outstanding because the only game they lost was to the Bucks, and that was in overtime on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
So I that's all I'm saying is
I feel good.
And I'm how many? So what's our record since then?
We only lost one game since.
Yeah, so what, we like 5-1 since then?
We 9-1. Our record is 9. We 9-1
in the last 10.
In the last 10.
Yeah, but I know we was talking about what was it? The Knicks twice, the Spurs, that's 3. We lost to the Bucks, so that's 3-1. We beat the Kings 4-1.
Then we beat New York again, Golden State, and the Lakers.
Did I ain't count New York twice. Golden State, Lakers, New York twice. Who else was it? The Spurs,
Sacramento. You got Golden State
and Golden State. So what? We 7-1.
Yeah.
Since Embiid went down.
So Embiid went down in that. What game was it? Was it Chicago or Washington?
It was Washington game. He went down.
Okay, so San Antonio, New York, Milwaukee lost. Sacramento, New York, Golden State, Los Angeles.
So we 6-1 since Embiid went down.
Nice.
I mean, you said 6 because we was just counting because it said 2 weeks, so we was counting it would be like 8 games, so we was counting that. So I mean, hey, listen, if nothing else, you said 6-2.
Yeah,
we can't be worse than 6-2 in those 8 games, those first 8 games following, because we 6-1 now. So even if we lose, it's 6-2. So that's what I'm saying. This is outstanding how they've been. I don't care.
That's coaching, and that's Tobias.
And his veteran presence.
Yeah,
Danny Green stepped up. That's what I'm saying. You got guys that have stepped up during this time.
Yeah.
So I feel good about the team. I don't care what nobody say. I feel good about the Sixers.
All right. Well, if y'all listen to this is a late night, but I guess if y'all listen to it on the playback, it really don't matter. But the Sixers go on in LA and beat the Lakers 109-101 behind the shooting of Danny Green and the assist of Ben Simmons and the stinking of Mike
and
Scott.
The grit of Tobias.
Yep. So yeah, get Toby's credit. But y'all, we'll be back Saturday night after the game. We playing the Clippers. We still be in LA. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button because you never know when we'll be live. And we'll see you after the game Saturday. Peace. We out.